Marriages go through various seasons, some full of joy, others filled with challenges. And so in this video, we explore the different stages every couple experiences, from the la season to the turbulent season to the final season. We'll discover how we can navigate each one successfully. So whether you're newly married or celebrating decades together, understanding this season will help you build a stronger, more fulfilling relationship. Hi friends, my name is Imo. I'm the author of these two books. I'm also a life coach and a relationship counselor. Today we are discussing the 7 seasons of marriage, and I'll be sharing some practical tips, insightful strategies, and real life examples to keep your love growing no matter the season. And so on that note, let's discuss the first season of marriage. The first season is what I like to call the la season. Some people call this the honeymoon phase. Now, couples are getting to know each other, and for the most part, they are loving what they are finding out about their partner. Everyone is on their best behavior. Everyone is trying to impress the other person. We are putting our best foot forward. There is a lot of excitement, giggling, butterflies around this time. I remember then my husband and I will talk sweet nonsense on the phone for hours. We'll make plans about the future, or make projections. Hey, this time next year we're going to be doing this. This time, in 3 years we're going to be doing that. Many couples are seen holding hands, laughing at each other's not so funny joke. They are cooking together, reading together, watching movies together. I mean, it's the honeymoon phase. So for the most part, both partners are happy. Okay, so the honeymoon phase is over, and we're moving on to the next season, which I like to call the clear-eyed season. In his book, The Meaning of Marriage, Timothy Keller calls this season the reality check season. Now, couples are gradually returning to earth after their honeymoon paradise and realizing all of a sudden that their spouse is not as perfect as they initially thought. I remember when my eyes started clearing and reality set in, and I began to realize what a crazy man I married. I mean, this man was just obsessed with cleaning and making sure everything was perfect. But you know what's interesting? I saw these things during our honeymoon season, during our la season, but I actually liked it. I thought it was great. I mean, it was very hands-on with chores in the house. In fact, I loved it because, for one, I do not like chores, a lot. But here is someone who does not mind doing the chores. And I thought, hey, what a match made in heaven. But fast forward 6 months after, I just felt like I married a crazy person. I literally did. And he probably thought the same about me too. You begin to notice how much you really do not like those things you used to once admire about your spouse. You may also begin to notice those things you never once paid attention to while you were in the la phase. Now you notice that she presses her toothpaste in the middle, which you absolutely hate, because why can't she just press it from the bottom like every normal human being? This reminds me so much of how Adam and Eve suddenly realized that they were naked. For a marriage to thrive and survive during this season, couples will have to be extremely graceful to each other and communicate effectively. You will have to learn how to understand your partner and pray to God to be able to accept things which you may not be able to change. I really had to have that prayer because I just realized that certain things about my spouse would not change, and I have to accept it. And in praying to God, He showed me ways to be able to tolerate and cope with some of the things He did. And I'm sure that my husband also prayed to God to give him grace and is able to tolerate certain things he knows he cannot change about me. Third season is what I like to call the expansion season. Author of The Power of the Praying Wife, Stormy Omachan, she calls this season the growing season. Now, during this stage, it's not just about the couples and their cute little home they started their lives in anymore. Now they're expanding, they're having kids, they're buying bigger homes, they have more responsibility, more financial pressure. Life gets very busy very quickly during this time. I remember having to go back to school after I had my twin boys. I also remember how, during that time, my mother-in-law came to spend some time with us to help us out. So we're not not just navigating being new parents, we're navigating how to cope with an extended party in our home. And I remember that this also brought its own set of challenges. Then we started working towards buying a new home, during which we had to cut back, we had to save. One thing many people have said they found very helpful on how to navigate this season is making sure that you are on the same page with your partner. You have to quickly agree on major issues. You have to communicate a lot. And I remember something that helped my hubby and I during this season is we try to communicate in the room away from other external forces, away from our in-laws. So we're able to discuss what we want and then go out and present a united front. Now, please note that these different seasons may not necessarily happen chronologically, because this next season I'm about to talk about is how some couples actually even begin their lives. This next season is what I call the turbulent season. Now, some authors call this the stormy season. It's when couples experience some kind of setback, crisis, some major change. Some people experience things like loss, child loss, miscarriages. Some experience health challenges. I know couples who've experienced job loss. Some people who have had to uproot their lives and start all over again from the beginning. One common challenge many parents experience, which I have talked about on my show, The Neurodivergent Show, link down below, is that some kids get diagnosed with things like autism. They get diagnosed with some kind of developmental issues. And it will so happen that majority of marriages with kids like this, they end up separating. To navigate this season, both spouses will have to be extremely patient. You have to be patient, be gracious to your spouse. The stormy season reminds me of this story in the Bible, the story of Job. Job lost everything. I mean, Job was in the worst state any human can be. It was so bad that in Job 2:9, his wife urged him, she begged him to curse God, like curse God and die, because what you're going through right now, death is better. Job told his wife in Job 2:10, shall we accept good from God and not trouble? The stormy season is about enduring trials together, maintaining faith in difficult times, and supporting one another, especially when external pressure challenges the relationship. You will have to be graceful. You will have to listen. You will have to be open and honest, because among other seasons, this is the season, this stormy, turbulent season is the one that usually would end marriage, especially fragile marriages. And the fifth season is the rebuilding season. Couples who survive the turbulent season, they begin to rebuild and reconnect. Couples who survive the season begin to realize how strong their marriage is and also have this sense of appreciation for each other and their marriage. Moving on to the sixth season, which I call the steady season. During this season, couples have matured, they're grown, they've become more knowledgeable, possibly faced some challenges, they overcame the challenges. Couples are more respectful, more intentional. There is more peace during this season. Couples may even begin to fall into a routine. But it's very important that couples do not take their marriage for granted, because unfortunately, during this season, many couples just fall into routine and then they begin to drift apart unknowingly. To keep the spark alive during this season, couples must be intentional about their marriage. They have to be intentional, go on more dates, maintain romance, and not let everyday routine or kids or responsibilities drive them apart. And the seventh season, which is actually my favorite of all the seasons, is what I like to call the final season. I call it the cute season, and I see this happen a lot in the hospital as a registered nurse. You see this 85-year-old male or female, accompanied by his or her partner, and they walk into the hospital, they are doing everything together. They understand each other's language, and whenever you encounter them on giving medications, they're quick to reminisce about their lives. They're quick to, discuss the good, the not so good. They have all these things they are willing to share. And I just love caring for couples like this, because, they have all this insight, all this great advice, and you just see them, the way they do things, they're like best friends. They, at this point, they know they're going to die together. So we might as well just, get ourselves together. And my prayer for you and I is that we get to this season, not just barely getting through in our marriage, but enjoying it, enjoying friendship with our spouse, loving every minute of our marriage, even the turbulent one. Now, if you've watched this video up to this point, you will need to know some subtle and obvious warning signs that something is going on in your marriage. And that's exactly what we discussed in this video. We explored what every married couple will need to know to be on the lookout and to be on the alert about possible threats to their marriages. And I appreciate you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Please do make sure you subscribe. Please do make sure you hit the like and notification button so that you can get an alert whenever we come on. Thank you for watching. My name is Imo.